Welcome back, Sega fans, to a special episode of the Sega Guys. This isn't a full-length podcast, but rather a little special event. So, yes, James, guess what, mate? I was 40 this weekend, 40 years old. So, yeah, so we went to a little place called Arcade Club in Bury. Brilliant place. 4 floors of classic arcade action, bit of modern stuff in there, some arcade machines. Took the family, the kids, the wife, and it was brilliant. We went there, started playing on the arcade machines, and we actually sat down, 4 of us, me and the 3 kids were all playing The Simpsons. Great arcade game, that is. And guess what? I heard this voice behind me saying, "Excuse me, are you that YouTuber?" And guess who it was?
Yes, mates.
Brilliant surprise. And for anyone that didn't know, James and I had not met before in the physical form. This has always been done remotely, so it was it's probably one of the best birthday presents that I could have had, mate. Brilliant to see you.
Aye, mate, it's been a long time coming. As I say, the whole story of it goes back to your good lady messaging me on the 18th of October, mate. That's how far back this has went. The amount of times that we've sat here and recorded, and I've spoke to you, and like you've told me just in passing, I've got this on this weekend, I'm going to the arcade club, and that weekend I'm sitting there like the Picard gif, chuckling away. But aye, there is no invitation was to come down for your surprise party earlier in November, which wasn't doable, unfortunately. But I think the arcade club was probably the ideal setting. So, as I say, whenever your wife had said to me that you were going there, that was one in Bury, the stars aligned, so to speak, because my wife's got family that stay in Prestwich, which is like 15 minutes from Bury, so it literally couldn't have worked out any better. She got to see family and our nephews, and obviously I got to pop along. But to be fair, my wife and daughter did come along as well and join in. But mate, it was like, because you were coming to Bury from a different side from us, so like you're driving and like your wife's texting me going, "Sat nav's got a delay on it. It says we're going to be there at 11:40." And I'm looking at our ETA and our sat nav, and it's 11:40, and I'm going, "Oh no, we're going to get there at the same time." And like, so my wife says to me, "We'll park round the corner out the way, some." So like I'm waiting to get the heads up that yous have gone in, and then obviously yous have went up to the top floor. You're sitting on the Simpsons arcade machine, and my wife and daughter went in ahead to kind of scope out the scene, which was quite funny because she says to me that you clocked her standing there, and you must have been looking going, "Who the hell is this woman standing with a child?"
I honestly didn't notice. I was fully into The Simpsons. I honestly didn't. I think I realised Tash was videoing us though. That was all it was.
Aye.
I was looking around.
But then I got the nod to come in, and that's when it happened, mate. I says, "Excuse me, mate, are you that guy for YouTube?" And then it was a long time in coming. We were obviously meant to meet up at OLL this year. That didn't transpire. But no, I think this was probably a better setting, mate, the way that it worked out. And it was absolutely brilliant. It was brilliant to meet in person. Absolutely superb. Went great. Camaraderie was the same off camera as it is on camera. Just a pair of grumpy old Sega bastards reliving their youth on some of the absolute brilliant machines that they've got in there.
Yeah, it was amazing, mate. And it was just amazing. Just gave me this and the Sonic picture on the wall. That's fantastic stuff. But so grateful that you managed to come down. And as you say, mate, what a setting for us to meet up. Just the sheer plethora of machines there. I don't think we got around a fraction of them, but we played some absolute classics, didn't we? Exercise that long-standing demon on Final Fight.
Aye, we've joked about that since then. I've told the story on here about how poor Mrs. Livingston coming stumbling down the stairs in the hotel in La Clusa, and my mate's pressing the button to continue, thinking he was going to get a free shot, running the clock down. That dagger goes out of the dynamite, and it was game over. But I don't think even the couple of francs that should have given us extra would have seen us through, because that final stage, jeez,
Yeah,
enemies, 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 enemies. It's like,
it was.
what? Oh,
It was brilliant. But on the same token, the Punisher as well, one that I've not actually played all the way through to the end, that was absolutely fantastic.
aye, I've never actually played that. I've seen it, but I've never actually played it. And that was great. So it was the Punisher and Nick Fury, and again, just going through battering lumps out of waves of enemies. But the thing, and I said that to you at the time whenever we were playing on those Astro City cabinets, how gorgeous were those screens?
I was going to say, so we got in there and we played the Punisher and we played Cotton 2, wasn't it? Was
Yeah,
it
Cotton 2, yeah.
Yeah, and we played Marvel versus Capcom, and you and my son had an epic battle on there. We had a number of fights on Marvel versus Capcom, but yeah, like I said, I mean that the whole of Arcade Club is amazing. So many machines, but I could have literally just sat in that corner bit. So you had that. It was on the third floor, wasn't it? And you had the main bit, which had the pinball tables and everything, but you had this kind of scrolled away, and it was all Astro Cities, and the screens, they were absolutely pristine, and they absolutely looked glorious, so gorgeous. And you had Metal Slug, and you had the Samurai Showdown games, Fatal Fury games, King of Fighters games. There was so much in there, and they looked absolutely stunning.
And it's the fact as well, it was you that noticed it, because it's a little kind of sub room as you're heading towards the exit to go back to the stairs. It's on the right hand side, and it's just tucked away, and it's just like quite a narrow room, and it's quite long, and it's just wall to wall with Astro Cities, like up both sides and along the back, and it's like, oh my word. And like Sega logos everywhere, Sega logos. It's like, but the screens, oh, as I said, I just love to just get one and just hook my Saturn up to it, because it's like, oh man, those scan lines, those beautiful CRT pixels. I was like, oh, I need a CRT now, mate. It was just, I came back, and even as good as it had 2Xs on an LCD, man, that was eye opening stuff. It was so nice.
It's crystal clear, wasn't it? Oh. But yeah, Punisher was great. Cotton was great. Very different in the arcade to the Saturn version, I think we said in the end. With the way that the lives work, because you can select the 3 characters, which is different to the way that I play it. And it's probably an option on the Saturn version.
It might be. I mean, in terms of level layout and stuff like that, I mean, you could see the STV, the kind of Saturn routes, like as you pointed out as well. That first enemy, the kind of big grey rock kind of monster with the club, it just looks like a Saturn game. But it was great to play that as well and actually see that in its arcade form.
And to play it co-op as well, because no one ever wanted to play that with me. It's nobody playing solo.
Right, because again, it's no. I've only got obviously the one Saturn pad, but there's nobody in this house who's going to play Cotton 2 with me either. You know, so it's like, daughter, do I play it? No, I'll play Sega Rally and Sonic. But I was just so good. There were so many options in there, and that bit alone, as you said, the Samurai Showdown games, King of Fighters games, stuff that you didn't even get to touch. It was like, I mean, how many times did we go up and down each floor just looking for stuff to play? You know, it was just like, and the Outrun 2 battles, mate. Yeah.
So I think Outrun 2 is probably the best game in there. It doesn't seem fair. There's so many good games in there, and it was like I was saying to you, it's like choice paralysis when we walked in there. You know, there's so, it's like, there's so much. And we went we played. My son wanted to play me at Street Fighter. Managed to have a few games of that with him. I played a bit of Outrun, which the cab for that, the way it moved. I've never played the deluxe version before. I had no idea that it shifted about like that.
and I was filming you playing it, as you'll see in the footage. And it's like, whenever you started moving, it was like, it was really moving. I was like, I didn't think it quite went at that angle, but that was fairly shifting. But I mean, even the condition of that as well, mate, it was glorious.
Everything was so immaculately looked after in there. But you had a Shinobi up there that we played a bit of. Played a bit of virtual tennis. We had a bit of a duel on that, and you played that alone. Managed to get a few games of Crazy Taxi and 18 Wheeler as well. Nice to see that the Naomi was represented in there as well. The 18 Wheeler, the great big wheel. Just as we've just had the video go out at the time of recording as well.
I know, I thought that was great kind of timing. I put that on Twitter as well, that it was kind of good timing. But even though it was a stand up, the big wheel, and it was really loose. I think it's meant to be because they're turning this big wheel. It's like getting rammed off the road by a lizard tail.
Yeah. And it's quite interesting to see that there's still got a bit of slowdown, and you can notice that the voices are obviously kind of a little bit inferior to the Dreamcast version.
Yep.
So the Dreamcast version, and again, it comes down to the arcades kind of being phased out by the time the Dreamcast game came around. But it was great to see. We played a few, like Time Crisis 2 was popular. A game I've never beaten, but I just needed the right fellow gunslinger. So, and we ripped through that one.
Destroyed it, mate.
House of the Dead 2, which I think we've both gone through several times. That took a little bit longer for us to get through, but which was a bit odd. That one was where we had to kind of push the gun right up to the perspex to actually get it to register, which is odd.
I don't know if it's maybe, I don't know if it needs recalibrated or something, but we were standing kind of back at normal and like, this isn't, it's only every second shot, it's kind of what's going on here. And then as we went right up, because yourself, the screen for the game was sank right into the cabinet.
Yeah.
So you're right up at the perspex almost, but it registered. I mean, I think I had to go and tag your son in to take over from me because my wife and daughter were leaving for the day at that point. But it was great to see. Again, it's not as a cabinet I've not seen for a long time. Like it was in booths for a wee while and then vanished.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a House of the Dead 2 cabinet. So it's like I said before, I didn't realise there was that one small page in CMVG, and then all of a sudden it was out on Dreamcast. That was my memory of it. I never saw it in the arcade. But yeah, it was great to play that. Time Crisis 2, brilliant to blast through that. Not quite up there with the Virtua Cops and the House of the Dead, in my opinion, but definitely the best game in that series. It's a superb shooter, I think.
Aye. Full of cheese, full of the, classic Namco cheese. Mad Dog, why is it taking you so long to get rid of them? It's like a shop.
Oh mate, but we lurched from Time Crisis 2 that we swaggered over, having beat that in about 15 minutes. We just tore through that game and sat down at T2 Judgment Day, and oh my gosh. That took us about 45 minutes to get through. It was absolutely brutal.
I felt like we were on that for 2 hours. Like it was absolutely brutal. It's like the first bit, okay, get the kind of wasteland and whatnot. That's okay. Terminators coming towards us. That was okay. And then you've got the next one's
the hideout.
Aye, the hideout. But then you've got the bit with the helicopters trying to crash into
so you got to save John Connor, and that was where I said if you get past the third stage, after that it's easy. Because that's how it is on the Mega Drive version. Once you get past that third stage is nearly impossible. But if you get past that, the rest is an absolute doddle. And we fluked that third stage by the truck blew up and somehow we passed the mission.
Aye.
It exploded.
Because you were saying, right, you take when the helicopter comes for the back, you get it, I'll get it if it comes for the top. So we're kind of, yes, that's about 9 or 10 hits, right, we've got rid of him. Then the truck somehow blew up, we passed it, we're like, okay, we'll take it. And then we get to the steel mill bit.
Yeah, so yeah, we Skynet was relatively straightforward. It took ages to blast the computer away, and then it was, the laboratory, we didn't blow up enough things to get the true ending. We're never going back to do that. It's a bit clear. And then the helicopter crashing in, it was like on the Mega Drive version you get a number of like bumps it a couple of times before it blows up, and this one is like he was just going kamikaze literally of no time. It's alright. Well, that's the second hardest bit in the game. And then mate, when we got to that steel mill trying to blast him off the side, it's just
but it's the fact as well that when we first got, you've got the kind of was it liquid nitrogen kind of stuff into it?
Yeah.
And that tanker's there. So you were shooting holes in that, and he's got T1000's got a barge for his heat, and you've got to cool him down to the point like in the film where and you shoot him when he melts into wee bits. And you're thinking, right, cool. And then it goes up onto the platform, and there's John Connor sitting there cowering, and we're not realising you need to use a shotgun. So he just walks up and goes. And you're thinking,
right back to the start with the liquid nitrogen again.
We thought it was going to be just back to where he walks onto the kind of platform. Nope, had to basically freeze him all over again. And then that's whenever the madness commenced, where we must have took about 4 days to knock him off the edge of that platform. Anybody who walked by us playing that, all they've heard is shotgun.
Like, you had like 300 shotgun shells, and I'd run out, and I was like, shotgun, keep him at the edge. I'll grab the grenade launcher. And I remember shooting him with the grenade launcher, and he just walked towards us. I was like, oh my god, just kill me now.
It's the fact that like Robert Patrick just appears there. Like he just appears with that big stupid face with his gun pointed, but you need to shoot him so much in the face that his head splits, and then that's whenever he backs off and you can shotgun him towards the edge of the platform. But he's all over the place. He's giving it all this, and it's like,
I know.
for God's sake.
Oh, yeah, and it gave us the end, and I was like, yep, tick that off. That's complete. It's like Judgment Day could still happen. I don't care. Bring it on.
I'll take Judgment Day over playing that again. That was just like, I'm happy to complete it, but I can see why Terminator 2, if it's worldwide, profits include arcade games, because that bastard must have taken a fair amount of money off of people.
Yeah, it was awful. Oh, but mate, yeah. So then we had a few races. Tried playing Sega Rally Links Up, which it didn't link up. Which was a shame, but it was fun playing that. I did manage to finish it, albeit in 4th place. So, but got to the end. I think. Did you get to the end? I thought you, because it took a few attempts for me to get there.
I literally got to like the last corner, and then I had like 4 seconds left, and I got to the last hairpin. That was as close as I got to it. And I was like. And then I did try and play it in manual gears, try to be a smart arse, thinking, I've been playing it in manual in the Saturn, I can do this, but without realising I kept going into neutral all the time, so like my car would just go. It was like, oh dear.
Yeah, it took a lot of adjusting to get used to the arcade feel of it, because it's a very different handling beast, and especially with the wheel. But it was still so fantastic though.
Oh, it's there's a lot of force feedback. The handling's a lot floatier. You can feel the kind of the way it is on the emulation, on the M2 emulator. You can feel it's that same kind of, obviously it's emulated, so it's carrying over exactly on an analog stick. It's very floaty, but you don't quite have the rumble effect is nowhere near get the force feedback, because the force feedback on it is strong. You know what I mean? It's like it really, whenever you go over jumps and you land, like you're trying to kind of steady the wheels to go one way, and the bump knocks you. You're like, oh Jesus! It's like, but it was again, it's a game that I've not played in the arcade for a long time. As I say, I used to go to booths and play it, go home, play it on the Saturn with the arcade racer, and that was in '96, and here I was in 2023, and I got to do the same with my daughter, which was just amazing. I was working the pedals and she was using the steering wheel, and then whenever we came home, she wanted to play it again. So
wonderful.
She was playing it with the arcade race. It's just brilliant to kind of pass that on, sort of thing, that you're kind of reliving that with your own kids. So it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was. Did play a couple of other races. Rave Racer, I think we ran out of time on that because that was set to like 12 laps.
12 laps. Aye, but mate, we went on it at 10 to 11 when it was ready to shut.
Yeah, I know.
I was like,
Yeah. Did get to play Daytona Championship USA, which was an interesting modern adaptation of it. Took our pictures.
Yes, aye. It's that was quite a good thing as well. I noticed that it was a wee webcam sort of idea
Yeah.
built above you, and it kind of projected your face onto like the electronic advertising boards around the track and stuff like that as well, which
Yeah.
is quite an interesting feature. But aye, it felt like a kind of weird PC version.
Yeah.
It's the cars aren't the same shape, the handling's different. The classic tracks are in there, but they don't. They're very clean. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like visually, it's clean enough, but it doesn't quite feel like Daytona.
Doesn't have the character.
No, no.
Missing a little bit of the magic, isn't it? It's like I said when we were there. I'd argue that the Dreamcast version probably looks better
Mm.
because just has more to it. Obviously, not as clean, but in terms of the detail and the character that the visuals have and the style. But no, at the end of the day, it was Daytona, and even though it wasn't quite the same, it was good to rip around 37 Speedway, Dinosaur Canyon, and the other track that I can't remember that we accidentally picked that wasn't a classic one.
Aye, we thought it was Dinosaur Canyon because it was a kind of sunset with a mountain,
Yeah,
but it was totally different. But I was, as you say, mate, it was still good to climb behind the wheel and have a couple of races.
yeah,
But I just so much choice.
but yeah, but talking racing games as we were saying, mate. Outrun 2 SP. They had the Outrun 2 cabs, which weren't set up for link play. I think we played them next to each other. Oh God, so much that was there. I'm always forgetting the initial D games were brilliant as well.
Aye.
Got some footage of you playing the initial D games, the soundtrack going, and they were odd, weren't they? They let you play for a bit, and the handing on them was great, and they look great as well. And then the gate goes, all right, yeah, we've completed this race. You can buy your upgrades. You buy your upgrades, and it's like, yeah, game over.
Aye, like the newer one that we played side by side. That one was weird because you finished the race and then, as you said, it lets you pick your on Japanese, so no idea what you're doing with it. But I think you picked like a gear or a muffler or something, and it went right cool. And it's like game over. And I'm like, why am I picking an upgrade? It's like, what have I to do, mate? If you've just kicked me off the cabinet,
Yeah.
It's like, right, fine, fair enough. But the one that was beside that, which was always packed, was the original Initial D that was in booths that I played, a game that made me go to Charlie's and get a PS2 Slim and chip it just to buy Initial D on import. Oh man, I mean that could have let me continue. I came off it after one race. I was happy with that, but I just picking the AE86 and racing running. I think I was kind of lagging behind until like the last couple of hairpins, and I somehow managed to pull some drifts out and win it. But oh man, Speedy Speed Boy playing the speakers behind me, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Oh, it's so good. I can see why that was popular. That was jam packed, as was Outrun 2 SP. That was just like,
it was so hard to get a game on there, wasn't it?
Aye,
because the original Outrun 2, as I say, that was next to Initial D, and that wasn't linked up, and that looked great on that. I think you could see where it's looked different visually, very, very slightly to the Xbox port. But obviously, that wasn't linked up. But then we went downstairs, and that Outrun 2 SP cab, the 4 cars, the 4 Ferraris, all lined up next to each other, the full-size cab, all properly linked, the bucket seats. And yeah, we were waiting for ages to get one. We finally got our chance. And we were like, we'll have a couple of games of this. And we must have had about 4, 5, 6 races all back to back.
Aye. How many times did we say after one fish,
Another
one? It just had to be done. Oh, mate. There was a thing is the 1 and 2. Would that be 3 and 4? Were 1 or 2 at that end? Whatever way it was. But
we were 3 and 4, yeah. So when we got the footage just now, I've got the footage on my phone. So it's propped up on the dashboard, and you can see you behind me or in front of me, your car number 3.
Because I think the 2 seats that we got at first, they were fine. You could adjust them. Unfortunately, the furthest away to the right, that one, the lever to adjust the seat is broke. So I think the second time we came down, like I managed to somehow like crush my. I was having to use heel and toe to try and drift because I couldn't get my left leg in to go into the brake pedal. But the other ones that we had, the furthest away to the left, those two, car 3 and 4, man, they were just absolutely perfect. Responsive controls, brilliant force feedback, pedals were great, screen was glorious, and sound blaring, speakers behind you, speakers in the dash, just, the music you picked was clearly audible. Life is a Bore, get that on there. Night Flight as well. So good, man. Just the races were so close. Like, there's points where we were literally like drifting, like side by side, getting around certain corners, and like you'd run off a corner, I'd go ahead, and then like the rubber banding kind of comes in, and that's a good thing about it. It doesn't. Like, I noticed that in like Rave Racer. Like, once you had got ahead of me, like I was battling to try and claw back time on it. Was I think Outrun 2 SP kind of does have a wee bit of rubber banding. It wants you to have battles. It wants you to kind of have those kind of races, but they were just so good, man. But we were going over the line like that apart at times. It was so good.
It was so many times where one of us would go around that last corner and completely stuff it up. And one of us would look over and go, and then we'd crawl over.
Because there was one I was leaning out of the last corner, and then I made a total arse it. I just see the front of your car just appearing in the corner of the screen. I just remember going, no! She went past, and then you went over the line. I'm just hunched over the steering wheel like, oh man. But again, as good as the home port is, as good as like split screen is, that's what the arcade is just so good at.
Yeah, I mean, as good as online is, and like all the various versions. Obviously, it was in the Xbox version. It was in the 360 Outrun online arcade. But that was one of the best arcade experiences. And I think it's a game that we played to death in the home. A game, there's games in there that I was kind of stepping away from because I played them to death in the home. But that one, and it was like we said, we only went on to go on there for a couple of games, and it was just hands down one of the best arcade experiences in there. What an absolute classic of a game. The video is Outrun 2 and our masterpiece. Yeah.
Well, we said that in there. Was it you says to me, I wonder why that Outrun 2 video is so popular. I'm like, yeah, I think we know why now. Because it was just once you got a seat on it, you had to stay in it, because if you came out, there was queues waiting to go on it. Yeah. Mobbed.
So we were sitting there going, one more. There's people wanting to go on.
Another one. That was cool.
Yeah. Then I think we had the 4-way with the 2 random guys at the end, didn't we?
That's right. Because I think what had happened is that I'd got off the seat that I was in, because the furthest away one became available, and I was in that one that had the broken seat, so I jumped out of that. But that was already linked up.
Yeah.
So if this guy had sat down, not realising this, I heard him going like, "What's happening here?" It's like he's wondering why, like it says, waiting for an opponent, but he's watching us picking the tracks and stuff. And then his mate joined in, so we ended up with a 4-way race at the end. It was just absolute carnage.
Oh, it's so brilliant, so brilliant. Yeah, as I say, best game in there, and I didn't expect it, to be honest. I really didn't expect it to be that good.
No.
Okay, but it's just a completely different beast to the home port and playing online. And that's what the arcade's all about. So it's why it probably is the biggest attraction there, because you think about the floor space. Even the Daytona 4 cabs were quite small in comparison, and these were the full sized with the 50, 60-inch screen.
Oh, easily.
And it was just like there was you just so good. So good. But yeah, it was a near perfect day, mate. Aside from Terminator 2, basically, hammering us, everything was almost perfect. And we did have a good stab at trying to get through Ikaruga at the end before they turned the lights off and basically told us to piss off.
They had the kill switch. It's the funny. My brother-in-law came to pick me up, and like he's from down there, and he was basically laughing as we came out. He was like, the last one's out, and you give me the last. Because he joked, I bet you the last one's getting kicked out, and lo and behold, I think we were the last ones out, mate, because it was just such a good day. I mean, even with the food, we had a couple of pizzas. They were tasty enough. I mean, a fiver, good size, tasty enough. The beers were well priced, maybe like £4 a pint.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, which was good. They'd have good selection of brew dogs, normal kind of Budweisers as well on tap and stuff like that as well. They had plenty of cans of Iron Brew in the fridge, which was always happy for me to see that. But all kind of really well priced. I mean, it's 17 quid for an adult to get in, 9 quid for a child, or 43 quid for a ticket for 2 adults and 2 children. So essentially, a second child gets in free. But the value for money is insane. 17 quid, if you're even going in your Todd, is ridiculous value. If you think about that 17 credits, like we went through that on Terminator 2 alone, mate. It was just...
Mate, we went through that 10 times over in Terminator 2.
You know what I mean? It was just everything that we got to play, everything that we looked at. I mean, the RoboCop coin-op was there, Midnight Resistance was there, Turtles was there. You'd obviously started on Simpsons to kick the day off, but there was just R-Type was there. There was just so much.
Star Wars arcade games. There was the Trilogy arcade. There was the old Atari sit-down cabinet as well, and Return of the Jedi.
They had Afterburner and Hang On with the old style controllers as well. Yeah. The levers, Super Hang On with the handlebars.
Yep.
As well. Just so much that you can't do it all. And well, there's just you'll find a game that you'll just want to, or a couple of games you just want to sit at, or just try and complete, and you'll not get around everything. So I'll definitely be back. I did think Scud Race was there. I looked on the site and they said they had Scud Race, but Scud Race is in the Leeds one. But no, I'll definitely be back, mate. 100%. If anybody hasn't gone yet, I highly recommend it.
And when you go, mate, let me know, and I'll be on my way. Actually, on my way back down this weekend because the lad loved it so much. He wants to go down there for his birthday.
And I can promise that I won't turn up at this one. I can assure you, I've not been contacted by your wife to turn up for a consecutive weekend. Not that I'd complain right enough, but no. I hope you and your boy get to go in it and have a right good blast at things as well, because I could tell that he didn't really want to kind of go whenever he did.
No, they went to their nans early. He wasn't happy. So, he's got a few mates.
Another 12-hour shift ahead of you, mate.
Indeed. But, mate, it's been a blast recalling all that now. It was a fantastic weekend, almost a perfect day. Thanks so much for coming down. Thanks for the superb presence. And it was wonderful. So next time you're thinking of going down there, let us know. We'll come up there. So the first time the Sega guys met in person, certainly not the last, but the first of many. Great stuff, mate. Yes, if you haven't been to Arcade Club, just make sure that you get down there. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. If you please get in contact, whether it's through the comments below, whether it's through our Discord server, or whether it's on X. Find me at super_D. You can find James at the SEGAHolic. You can find the account at SEGAGuys. And if you love what we do, really, please become a member from just 99p. You can help me and James keep the lights on. There's we do this out of our own pocket, so any help, you'll get free bonus content and exclusive preview access to our big videos. James, do you want to shout out our Premier tier subscribers?
Yeah, premium members, as always, it's G-Man, Sega Saturn Lad, and of course, Andy Mackey. Thank you very much, as always, for your support, guys, not just to premium members, but all of our members on both tiers. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Yes, any members, and even if you're not a member and you just come stopping by to view, we really do appreciate it. Please stay tuned for more Sega content, because we will see you on the Sega side.
Sega!